Hey guys, so in this video, we're talking more about copyright and copyright ownership. Copyright ownership allows you to do so much as a business owner and as a creative. A lot of entrepreneurs, they go out and they hire someone to create a logo for them. They go out and hire a photographer so they can get those beautiful branded photos for Instagram, for advertisements, such and so forth, for their website, whatever the case may be. But when you don't really understand copyright and you really don't understand copyright ownership, it gets a little dicey. So this is what we are going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about how copyright is established, why copyright should be kind of negotiated at times. And if you are a creative, you definitely want to watch this video because I'm going to be talking to you guys about making creative decisions. If you guys are not familiar with my story, I am an attorney now. In my first career, the career that I love so much, I was a photographer. That's how I started in this brand space and how I started to really kind of take off. I supported myself through law school and all that stuff with my camera. So I care a lot about creatives and I want to talk to you guys and get really into the nitty-gritty. Let's go. First thing first, when it comes to copyright ownership allows you to basically do as you please with the end product without having a lot of pushback. So if you hire creatives as a work for hire, this is a completely different and completely intentional way of hiring a creative. And when I say creative, I mean someone who's writing you a jingle for your commercials. I'm talking about a photographer. I'm talking about an artist or illustrator. I'm talking about the logo designer, creative people who are actually taking your idea, taking your name, taking your slogans, and actually creating a work of art around it. You can hire them straight contract, and without specifying that they are work for hire, what you are saying is that the law is the default law. And the default law when it comes to creatives is as soon as they put that sketch paper and that pen together, or as soon as they shutter click, whatever it is that they come up with, whatever that creative deliverable is, they own the copyright. So to clear up any confusion, because a lot of people say this, no, I paid them, I hired them. Doesn't matter. You paid them and you gave them employment for a few hours so that they could create work. That belongs to them still, unless you hire them as a work for hire. A work for hire is a way of you establishing that you are changing the way that the default law is going to work. And instead of the copyright belonging to the artist or the photographer, videographer, it's going to be immediately transferred on shutter, on pencil to you. You will be the copyright owner. You're basically going to use this type of work for hire contract if you are deciding, I have a vision, I have already created it in my head, I am the producer of this great thing, all I need is someone to help me bring it to life. And so you basically would hire this great photographer, great artist to come in, and you're basically just telling them, this is what I need and I need you to do it. And because it's not necessarily their artistic expression, it's yours. That's where work for hires really get the benefit from a business owner. You can also decide if you are a brand or you have a reputation that supersedes the artist that you're working with. At times you might say, hey, it's an opportunity for you guys to come work with me, or it's an opportunity for me to just have the copyright because I just don't care. I just want the copyright to this stuff and I want to be able to edit it, produce it, reproduce it. I want to be able to copy it. I want to be able to do whatever I want to this copyright or to this art without anybody giving me pushback. If that's your thing and you just want control, then you always want to opt for the work for hire. So if you're hiring a creative to work for you in your business, to create branding for your business, think about the complexities of this copyright ownership. Do you want to be able to push out an ad or put your creative expression on a billboard? Do you want your photos to be on a billboard? Do you want your photos to be on a bus advertisement? Whatever you want to be doing with this, the copyright owner can always say, I didn't allow you to do that with my work. Pay me more, or whatever the case may be, or take it down, right? So think about these things when you're thinking about copyright and you're thinking about hiring a creative. Now, creatives, when you're being hired to create another person's vision, consider negotiating. You don't always have to sign a work for hire, okay? Sometimes you can negotiate joint copyright ownership, which means that you still have a say-so in how things are being used or how things are being sold or the royalties, etc., to your art. You can also negotiate a license for the photos in your portfolio. So let's say you come out and you shoot and you have 500 pictures. Maybe the copyright is only given for 2 or 3 of those pictures in that catalog and the rest is licensed out. There are ways to mix and mingle copyright ownership and licensing so that you have a favorable output or favorable results in the deal, and you don't feel like you just got smushed like a roach by this big brand or this big company. You guys don't always have to give away your copyright. There are ways to negotiate and save some of your copyright for yourself. Now, if the copyright happens as soon as the shutter is clicked or as soon as pen hits paper, then why do people register their copyright, right? Well, copyright is automatic by default, but in order for you to actually enforce your copyright or sue and take someone to court based on your saying, I'm enforcing my copyright, this is mine, you have to have it registered, okay? So now let's go kind of talk about what a lot of people confuse with like trademark, because you see the TM and the R symbol and the SM symbol, and then the copyright symbol. So it's kind of like, how do I know what's copyrighted and what's not? Here is the kind of like linchpin for knowing when something's copyrighted. You didn't make it. That's a linchpin. If it's art, if it's creative and you didn't make it, somebody owns the copyright, either the person that made it or the person that hired them to make it. So if you guys are trying to put pictures on your website, if you're trying to use images that even a photographer took of you, this is what's getting a lot of celebrities sued. They're taking pictures that the paparazzi have taken of them, that they might look good on the beach, they might look great in that restaurant, and then they post it on their social media, and then the photographer that took that picture turns around and sues them because they didn't have the right to repost a picture of themselves because it violated the copyright. Guys, this is very, very serious stuff, and their penalties can be very, very high. So if you guys are trying to figure out, how do I get around this? How do I start to use media and I start to really use my branding and brand my assets without running into copyright issues? If that's what you're wondering, then there's a free downloadable that I have provided to you guys that kind of shows you ways to get around and navigate branding yourself without running into copyright issues. So make sure you guys get that. And also, if you are finding that this video is valuable, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that you'll be notified when I post more videos just like this one. Now, kind of continuing on that path of I want to brand myself, but I don't want to get in trouble for using someone else's copyright. And what do I do if I really want to use a piece of artwork or I really, really want to use something that I know belongs to someone? You guys can always ask. It's the most simple way of creating a real good collaboration and connection. You can always ask somebody. You can always say, hey, I really want to use your blah, 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 blah in my work. What would it take? And maybe they'll negotiate, the artist or the creative will negotiate something like a license to use, or they'll actually give you, the copyright, joint copyright if you buy it from them. There's so many ways to really kind of navigate this copyright issue, and it gets really fun because it's a way for you to collaborate with creatives and really start to expand your network and really start to understand brand protection at a larger scale. If you feel like I didn't really touch the nuts and bolts of copyright, don't worry, because this is not my only copyright video. I also have Trademark versus Copyright 101. That video breaks down quite a bit about the difference between trademarks and copyrights. And I'm coming out with a lot more of the copyright videos. And if you want me to talk about something specific, just ask me in the comments and I will cover it in the next couple of videos. You guys, I am excited to talk to you guys right in your comments. If you've ever had something copyrighted, if you've ever had a copyright issue, or if you are just glad that you understand copyright a little better, let's talk in the comments. I want to see what you guys have to say. And of course, I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.